All right, this is an example of how much improvement can be made in, we'll say 2 lessons. This is Gerardo on the left-hand side, his technique before I gave him any instruction. In the middle is professional golfer Ernie Els. I think one of the best high-speed videos of how to close a club face correctly, the correct technique. On the right-hand side is Gerardo's technique at the end of our second lesson together. In the lower right-hand corner, there should be a little icon that looks similar to this. Click on that. It should enlarge the screen so you can see detail a lot better. But you're not going to need to see a whole lot of help to see the amount of huge improvement that we made in just 2 lessons. So here's Gerardo's technique before we changed anything or improved anything. You can see the backswing isn't too bad, but the technique on closing the club face, he loses pretty much all angle prior to impact, well before impact, too early. What we really want is to be able to hold that angle a little bit longer, and the way we do that is the correct technique on closing the club face into impact, in and through impact. So you can see the accomplished golfer holds the angle much longer into impact. And so Gerardo's after technique, when we taught him how to close the club face correctly, he was able to hold the angle a little bit longer, a little bit more lag as he comes into the ball. Right here we have more of an angle right when the hands are hitting the right hip. So as we see, as he moves into impact, also into impact, the hands are leading the club head a little bit longer. Actually, just before impact, we catch him just afterwards. The old technique, past impact, with the ball taking off, this left wrist would break down severely through impact. What we really want is that keeping that straight line through impact. So we can see the straight line here on Ernie Els, and that's more of what we're seeing in Gerardo's new technique, is that straight line from the left shoulder. As the old technique moved through impact, we can see the chicken wing and the arms pulling up into the body. What we really want to see is more forearm rotation to close that club face, and we're going to stop him just past parallel to the ground, and that's what we're seeing in Gerardo's new technique, is more and better forearm rotation through impact, with the hands extended well away from the body through impact. So which means those hands have accelerated through impact, and consequently that club head has accelerated through impact. Here in the old technique, the club head is decelerating through impact as that right hand pushes in, and then the arms pull up into the body. So huge improvement between the old technique and the new technique, and the new technique is looking a lot like accomplished and professional golfers. Anyway, good example of how much improvement can be made in just a couple lessons.